Hey everybody, RPG here. Today I'm going to circle back on a video I did a little while ago comparing genuine original N64 cartridges with those that are reproduced or knocked off. So in this video, the purpose of it was just to compare the two and to point out some key components that I think that everybody should be kind of looking over and going through a checklist on when they're purchasing N64 cartridges, whether it's in person or online, though I will say online, you are at the mercy of the person that sells to you, because I can take a picture of a 100% original cartridge, you purchase it from me, and then I take that cartridge, put it on my desk, and I send you the knockoff. And that goes to your door, and you have really, you can obviously try to dispute it or do a return, but that's an issue a lot of people run into on eBay. Even on Amazon, I've heard a lot of people are finding knockoffs on Amazon now too for older cartridges like the N64. So that's something that you really, you could do your due diligence all day long on something like that. And again, you're just at the mercy of whoever you're buying from, and you're hoping that they're honest and reputable. But in this day and age online, it's tough. It's tough to get somebody. I've had cases on eBay where people send me something that's completely different. I had one guy I bought a console from. He sent me a book, a hardcover book, and the tracking tracked and everything. So there's some scammy people out there. So definitely be careful buying online. But if you're buying in person, you could take this video, go down the checklist there, and be able to determine whether this is a legitimate N64 cartridge or a knockoff. And the point of this video today is I want to kind of talk about these knockoff or reproductions, and I want to talk about my opinion as to whether they should be avoided at all costs or whether they have some value to them. So my logic is this: I really don't care if something is reproduced and released or not. But there are some concerns I have. I don't like when people take a knockoff and they sell it like it's an original, and they sell it for the same price or more, and they're not straightforward about it. So if you were to list something and say in the title, bold letters, reproduction, not original, then I'm cool with it, because then everybody is upfront. You know what you're buying. There is, that risk that you don't read the title and you fall victim to getting a replica when you thought you were getting an original. That's obviously a risk there, but I'm more okay with it if people are being upfront. We've all seen, I think, the headlines of a original, I think it was Super Mario 64 cartridge, or there was some Mario 64 cartridge that was in like immaculate mint condition, and it sold for like $1 million. Now, I don't think anybody is creating a replica that's good enough where they're going to get $1 million for it, but something like that, a headline like that in the news, is going to bring more people out to try and make replicas. And even if they're not getting $1 million, they might try to get it up and running and be as close to it as possible, where they can at least get a few dollars, and in bulk it adds up. So that's something I look out for. And now, in terms of the reproductions, if you're getting it at a fair price and they were upfront about it and everything, are they worth anything? Or would you put it in your console and give it a go? Yeah, I mean they have some value to them. I don't think that they're absolute trash. But one thing I'll point out is there's no quality control when these are being made. So they're not made by Nintendo. They're not made by any reputable company. They're made pretty much to be as cheaply done as possible and to work so people buy them. So it's hit or miss whether you're going to get one that works. And when you get one and you plug it into your console, and you boot it up and you start playing your game, you're not out of the woods yet, because games are pretty long, especially on N64. You might not be at the end of that game for weeks, months, or even years. You don't know if you're ever going to get to the end of that game. It could crap out at any point in time. And you have no real recourse. If you get a cartridge and you use it for 3 months, and on the 4th month it craps out midway through a game, midway through a level, or at the end, or whatever the case may be. You have no recourse, so it's a gamble. I will say this though: if you get an original, I have my original here, I have my knockoff here. If you get an original one that's 25 years old in most cases, you have some risk there as well. It's a gamble there, because same rules apply. 25 years old. You don't know what this cartridge has been through over the last 25 years. If you just picked it up off of eBay or Amazon or at the local flea market, you don't know that, because the first couple levels work well, that the end of the game is going to work too. It might glitch out, it might crap out, it might burst into flames. We don't know. So there's an element of risk and certainly a gamble, whichever route you go here. So I want to point that out too, not to confuse people or to deter them from buying genuine or knockoffs, or reproductions rather. Knockoffs has an ugly word. So yeah, it's a risk either way. So I think, in my opinion, this is where emulation is really going to kind of pull out ahead of everything else, is because it's been 25 years since, the first N64 game was released, and who knows what the next 25 is going to be like. Who knows how many of these original cartridges are going to be in circulation, how many are actually going to be working, if any at all. So there's a lot of moving parts to this, and I think emulation is going to pull forward, because we know when we turn on our Raspberry Pi or our PC and we run Batocera or RetroPie or whatever emulation platform we're running, we know what we're getting into. We know that, maybe the game doesn't work 100% on there, depending on what system you're on and how you're running it. But we know what to expect, and we know that it's going to play the same way every single time. With these, there's risk. We just don't know. So, I don't have an issue so much with the reproductions. And I think that another element to that is, here's my reproduction. I grew up playing this game. I remember being 8 years old, coming home from school and playing this game for hours on end. I have memories of this game. I love it, and the cartridge is cool, the image is cool on here, and to stick it up on a shelf is really cool for me. So that's what I do with this knockoff. Somebody sent it to me to do this video that I did a little while ago, did that video, and I don't play my N64 console rather. I keep calling it a friggin' cartridge. My N64 console all that often. So, I have the original one here, so why would I ever use the reproduction? I have this on my shelf, and it's right next to my computer, and when I look over at it, I go back to being an 8-year-old boy playing this game all the time. So, if I could get it for $5 to $10 on eBay and never even put it into my console, I would do that. I would put it up on my shelf. I'd get the Zelda ones too, and collect them and put them on my shelf. I think that there's a market for that, but certainly I wouldn't do it for 40, 50 bucks. I would do it for $5 to $10 if I saw one cheap on eBay and it looked good. I could care less if it even turns on. I would just put it up on a shelf. So there's that you could do as well. I think that there's definitely value in that, as long as you're okay with them being a little bit orange, because if you saw my video, I talk about the human characters at least being pretty orange and having that sort of orangey spray tan sort of look. So that's really my 2 cents on all of this, in my opinion, and that's exactly what this is. It's an opinion, so my words aren't 100% right for everybody. You might agree with me, you might disagree with me, but I just want to put this out there because a lot of people do ask me, hey, I found this cartridge for $15. I'm not sure if it's legitimate or if it's reproduction. If it's reproduction, is it worth anything? So this should give you an answer to that question. If you have any questions though, reach out to me. I'm easy to get a hold of. Love responding through the comment section. So hit me up in the comment section if you have questions, if you want to talk. I'm always here. So that's going to do it for today. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button for me. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We do a whole bunch of different videos based around retro gaming, product reviews, gameplay demos, tutorials, just a little bit of everything on here. And of course, check us out online, www.retropieguy.com. Thanks for watching.